All right, so I wanted to knock out the Dark Castle films, starting with House on Haunted Hill, moving on to Return to House on Haunted Hill, then 13 Ghosts, then Ghost Ship. I actually ordered Gothica, but it hasn't come yet. And I already covered House of Wax. Somebody's been asking me to do Orphan forever. So I'll eventually do that because I really like that. I really like Esther as a character, that little actress. Good movie. Yeah, we'll get to that eventually. So, House on Haunted Hill is a remake, of course. Now, Dark Castle, is that because they're remaking films from William Castle's catalog? Is that what that is? Is that why it's called Dark Castle? Or is that just coincidental? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so 1999, I have to say, as silly as these films are, as, dated as they can be, as over the top and edgy and high tech as they're trying to be in the film, as silly as they come off, they're really R rated. Like, there's a lot of really cool creature designs. There's a lot of really gory shit. They use, perverse language and nudity, like a lot of nudity and graphic violence. And I have to say, I really enjoyed all of these. All of them. House on Haunted Hill, the second one. I know a lot of people don't like the second one, but I enjoyed it. Not as much as the first one, for sure. But I enjoyed it. And Ghost Ship, I honestly was probably my favorite of all of them. I was really surprised by Ghost Ship, and I'll get to that. And 13 Ghosts is just a total fun time because the creature design in that movie is awesome and the kills are really cool. So I've been impressed with this series. I don't feel like Dark Castle films get enough credit. And then House of Wax too, which I've already covered on Slasher Sunday, is awesome. I love House of Wax. That's probably my favorite of all of them. Orphan is fantastic too, but that came later. I'm trying to stick more to this time period when these were kind of coming out back to back. But I'd probably rank them House of Wax, then Ghost Ship, then House on Haunted Hill, then 13 Ghosts, then Return to House on Haunted Hill, and then we'll see where something like Gothica, which I would have put in this collection here, and I don't know where that would stand. I'm not a Halle Berry fan at all, so I'll be a little biased on that one. But if there's other films in that filmography, I'm not aware of them. I think there is another one that I'm not thinking of, but I wouldn't consider it during this time period because Orphan came out. But did Orphan come out that much after these? Or should Orphan be included in this? I don't know. I'll look at the time. I'll look at the dates in which they came out. But I remember I saw Orphan in theaters with this girl, Jennifer. And that must have been 12 years ago. That sounds about right. 12, 13 years ago. So 2008, 2007. And then Return to House on Haunted Hill is 2007. So I guess Orphan should be in here. Okay, so I'll watch that too. I'll get those two done. But anyways, for now, let's stick to these four. What a cast in this one. Holy shit, man. We got Geoffrey Rush, you got Famke Janssen, you've got Taye Diggs, you've got Ali Larter, you've got Bridget Wilson, you've got Peter Gallagher, you've got Chris Kattan, you've even got James Marsden, Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He plays a very small role in this, but damn, man, I was just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Like, everyone who kept showing up in this movie. Geoffrey Rush, who I just love, as Captain Barbossa from the Pirates of the Caribbean films, my favorite character in the Pirates movies. Of course, he's played in plenty of other things, King's Speech and whatnot. He's amazing, but he's great in this, man. He plays Mr. Price, which of course is a throwback to Vincent Price, who was the main character of the original. The women in this movie, oh my god, all the women in this movie are gorgeous. Whether it's Famke, who's, arguably one of the best looking women ever. Ali Larter is freaking gorgeous in this. Bridget Wilson's gorgeous in this. Some of the other girls in this movie who end up getting naked in the film are fucking fantastic looking as well. Just incredible ensemble of women in this movie, for sure. Beautiful, beautiful women. Chris Kattan, who I would expect to be extremely annoying. For some reason in this movie, I'm not saying, I don't know. I just would expect him to be annoying, that annoying comic relief character in this. But I actually really liked his character in this a whole hell of a lot. Now, the thing I'd always remembered from this movie, above everything else, was the elevator gag in the opening, where the elevator to go up to his roller coaster breaks down and collapses, but then that's just part of the ride. And then when you get on the ride, the roller coaster's going smoothly, and then the cart in front of you gets thrown off the track, and then the track collapses back down. And I guess they collect that car that flew off the tracks and put that back on the tracks and put a bunch of dummies in there. That is so outrageously over the top stupid. It would just thinking about the logistics of all of that. Just thinking, like, I'm not even going to get into all of it, but you can start to fill in the blanks there of how insane that would all be. I mean, I could go on for probably 5 straight minutes of how stupid that is. But for the movie, I don't care. It's hilarious and I love it. It's just, as I said, these haven't aged well. Even then, though, people had to go, come on, that is so dumb. But I don't give a shit. It's still fun. Like the use of Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams in here. A lot of really cool rock songs in this. In Ghost Ship, you have Mudvayne that plays throughout, which Mudvayne was a favorite band of mine when I was in high school. So hearing them, they were also in Saw 2. I remember hearing, and they've been in a couple other films as well. But so real cool rock songs used throughout these. And I think this is the movie, maybe it's this one, maybe it's another one, but I think it's this one. I'll wait till I find the notes on it. You've even got Geoffrey Combs in here from Reanimator, who plays a very minimalistic role as the evil doctor in this that doesn't even have any lines, which is kind of a waste of Geoffrey Combs' talent, to be completely honest, because this is around the same time that he made Frighteners, which I think is his best role. I want to say Frighteners is 97, 98, somewhere in that area, and this is 99, so really close to that movie. And so just kind of, I don't know, you have Geoffrey Combs in your movie and you don't even use his acting ability, you just use him as a creepy character. Just feels like you could have hired any generic ass person for that. You don't need Geoffrey Combs for that. But anyway, it's cool to see him regardless, but I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. The guest list is, of course, altered by Ghost because they want to bring all the family members from before into this place, and that's how they find out Peter Gallagher is in on it with Famke, and Famke ends up slitting his throat because she wants to, he screws things up, so she fakes her own death. And there's just like cross after cross after cross after cross, but in the end, the ghosts end up winning the day. And oh man, like when the creature designs in this, which I feel like they don't focus on anywhere near enough, but when they are on screen, they're awesome. Great creature designs. Like you could show still images of all of them, like behind the scenes stuff of those characters, like, and really focus in on them. They're really wildly imaginative and awesome looking. So I really wish they would have put a little bit more focus on the great creepy characters, and the imagery in this movie is excellent. I really like the darkness of this movie and all of the other films in the Dark Castle line. I think their imagery, their gore, their creature design, and all that stuff is extremely on point. The aesthetics and the atmosphere created within that is great stuff. It's very like new, edgy kind of, it's trying to be edgy a little too much. No doubt about it. Like it's trying a little too hard, but I don't care because of the way that some of the imagery and some of the character designs that we get in this. I think it's all really, really cool stuff. Then they get that guy's face who gets cut off. It's like the Geoffrey Combs, I think, is the one that comes up and just like slices on the guy's face really quick. It's a guy, right? Yeah. And then his face just kind of slowly starts to peel away and fall off. Awesome sequence. Awesome kill. I don't know why that would kill you, but I don't care. Awesome. I love that kill in this movie. There is some terrible music in this movie, though. Outside of the, Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson, stuff like that. There's some music that they use when they're walking around the house, and it just doesn't fit at all. I hated it. I was like, why did they pick this? Dreadful decision, but whatever. Fake out scares with loud music, obviously a total no-no. And I know that there's I like how Famke not only slits the guy's throat, but then cuts his head off and puts him in that containment thing that they lock Mr. Price in. That was pretty cool. And then when Bridget Wilson's character is found and she's like all deconstructed and her head's up here and like half of her torso's over here and like her legs over here and she's like up on a wall displayed. Awesome. Really cool shit. Loved that too. Very graphic. Great stuff. It's not a kill, it's an aftermath, but I don't care. Great aftermath gore. The shadow monster in this, the CGI shadow monster, which is like a collection of all of the entities, all the beings together as one. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. They should have went practical on that. It should have been like an amalgamation, like blob creature of like a bunch of different arms and legs, and think like Neil Blomkamp's short that he made called the Oats Studios one with Dakota Fanning, Zeitgoat, with the hand arm monster creature that's like a ball, that thing. Like that would have been badass in this movie. Like all the souls like kind of together in this physical form. That would have been badass. This CGI shadow monster thing like from Lost, terrible. Just terrible looking. And it all like kind of like has a face in it, and it just looks it looks like the Fog remake. That's what it reminds me of. Dreadful. Like the cover of the Fog remake or something. Just awful decision there. Price wearing like squibs, and when someone shoots a gun at him, I guess it makes it look like he gets shot. So the gun is only able to trigger, and the bullets are only able to fire when it's not pointed at him. But when it lines up with his jacket, they pull the trigger, and then it looks like he dies. That's the only explanation I could come up with for how the guns are actually working, and then they're not actually working when they shoot him. So you've got to trust that thing's pretty accurate, and that wouldn't really save his head from being shot at. So I don't know. That was the only thing I could come up with, though. Because that girl isn't in on it with him, and that gun does fire at other points in the movie and definitely has bullets in it. So, I don't know. And then he actually seems to love his wife, Famke, but she does not. So he gets really upset when she dies, and then when he finds out that she betrayed him, he fucking loses his mind, because they have this really tumultuous relationship throughout, but he actually has a true love for her, and then he finds out that she doesn't really have a love for him, which is kind of sad. And then Katan's character ends up dying, but then he's the one who ends up saving the day. Now, there's a lot of people that I was reading in the comments of this movie that they don't like the ending because it's like a non-ending. I don't understand. What's wrong with the ending? They get out of the house, they get the money, and then they say, well, how the fuck are we going to get down from here? And the movie ends. What more of an ending did you need? I'm confused by there were so many comments in like the reviews on IMDb that were like, everything but the non-ending. Oh, the ending is terrible. There's no ending. The movie has no ending. Non-ending. What? What am I missing? They stayed the night. Everyone died. They got out. The checks are under the door. They laugh because they got the money. What more ending do you want from that? I don't understand. I'm confused where the there's no ending thing came from. So, anyways, all right, let's move on.